What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to your channel. First and foremost, as you guys can see, the background is just drastically different than you're used to. We are officially moved into the new house. It will continue to fill up as the videos come out and the streams happen. We're just in like that weird middle ground of unpacking, and it just shit's lost everywhere, and it's just this, you guys know how it is if you've moved before. So that's where we're currently at. We are moved in, like I said, though, so we have, content flowing. Videos will start to come out more often. I'm streaming pretty much daily at this point as well. So make sure you guys check out the Twitch as well in the link below. So today's video, back on track, is going to be hopefully the first video. I'm trying to time these as best I can. FaZe should have announced their roster by now if this video's live. I'm trying to guess as best I can here. But I'm retired now, so I get to make these styles videos. I've really never been able to do that before because, bad juju and talking about other teams and stuff when you're playing is kind of weird. So we're actually going to be able to do it now. So like I said, we're going to start with FaZe today. I'm going to go through the ins and outs of their offseason. I think why they made the changes, what the changes mean for their team, and we're just gonna go from there. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, and let's get started. So the number one thing, in my opinion, that FaZe needed to do in this Rostermania and this offseason was move MC off of that quote-unquote flex role. He really hasn't been playing like a flex player. I think that's kind of the general narrative that a lot of people hold when it comes to their previous two FaZe teams, one with RCs and one with Slasher. In 4v4 COD, they pretty much had two main ARs, which can work in 5v5, and 4v4 creates a whole bunch of pacing issues. The objective things start to get messed up, which we'll get into, and it just creates a lot of weird role clashes. So the number one thing that FaZe had to do is get a true flex, and there was like a weird scenario where Simp could have become a flex player, and they were like targeting Pred, and there was like this just weird team shift thing, which I'm happy didn't happen. Because when you have one of the best submachine gun talents of all time in Simp and take him off of that, even if he's the best flex in the world, I still don't value that as highly as I value having Simp and aBeZy on your team as a sub duo, because subs win you championships. So I'm happy that didn't happen. Side rant there. So what did FaZe do? They went out and got a true flex in DRAZAH, if you guys are living under a rock. The irony, I don't think, is lost on anyone. Obviously everyone knows that they hated each other for about 2 years, maybe more. The vigorous body shooting and shit talk on Twitter, which I'm sure everyone is aware of. I don't need to deep dive that. Apparently they squashed the beef and they decided to join forces, and this is the next Atlanta FaZe that we get. So what does this mean? Where do they improve? Where do they get worse? So like I said, immediately the biggest shift is going to be MC on a main AR. Now, Cell played much more like a flex in Modern Warfare 19 and Cold War as opposed to Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2. I think the last 2 years he's definitely slowed down a little bit. Which is a big gripe that a lot of people have with this roster. So putting MC on that official main AR role and picking up Zach, an actual true flex who can use any gun. His pace is absolutely unreal, and he's prolific in search and destroy, which is huge for this team. I think it fixes literally everything about this roster, barring some IGL / like comms stuff, which we'll obviously get into as well. But that's pretty much the reasoning that they had for their change. Now we're gonna get into some stats here really quick for you guys, just so I can, give you guys something to look at instead of just my face. Now, starting out with overall player stats, this is from Modern Warfare 2. There's a couple things that I want to point you guys towards, and that is going to be MC's overall KD, which is just miles ahead of everyone else, which was a big issue that a lot of people had. A 1.2, next highest is a 1.07. I also want to point you guys to the S&D first blood rate at 8%. Now, if I bring up, where's Los Angeles Thieves here? I'm going to bring you guys over here. You see Zach's KD is a little bit lower. Obviously, it's a much different play style, so you don't want to really look at that. When you come over here to First Bloods, though, you get 17.7. Now, he is an absolutely unreal S&D player, and that was a thing last year that FaZe really held on to for the majority of their season, was how good they were at search. They had like a 16, 17, something like that game win streak in that in search and destroy. It won them rip major 2 over us, and there's just a lot of things that they could fall back on when it came to their search and destroy, and a lot of people were worried that they might get worse if Austin left the team, because obviously Austin's one of our best S&D players that we've ever seen. And when you put Zach in his place, I think they not only stay the same, I think they could potentially improve, because their play styles, while drastically different, Zach is a much more go IGL and S&D. He is that, like, he's just that mind. He's that guy. I'm not gonna put it like that, but he's that guy in search and destroy. So they definitely either stay the same in that game mode or get better. And the thing in respawn, which I think is the reason that they made this change, is that his pace is just so much faster than, I guess, would be MC in his spot in this situation. So once you get rid of Austin, who I will say had a phenomenal season, I don't think him getting released had anything to do with his personal performance or anything like that. I think that they just needed and viewed that a lot of their issues lied within that double main AR dynamic that team had. So they're definitely on the right path, at least in my opinion. with this change. Shout out to Austin though. He had an insane year. He was a bad place at a bad time, I think. And these are just some team stats as well to back up pretty much all the search and destroy stuff. Obviously 18-7 on a CeeLo. That was their shit. Embassy, you guys knew that one as well. They're just incredible at S&D. Now, the reason, again, that they made this change is going to be the respawn. The pace that Zach sets in respawn is that much higher than, again, would be Cell in his spot. He is moving around the map. He's a true flex, can use both guns extremely well, and he just pretty much is a band-aid fix for their entire roster. Now, the biggest issue that this team is going to have is the comms. That's probably the number one thing that everyone's going to look at. Who's the leader? You're dropping Slasher. You're putting DRAZAH in his place, who doesn't have phenomenal comms. He has much better ones than when I first started teaming with him in Vanguard. Zach has improved dramatically in that category. But you're losing Austin. You're losing that IGL. You're losing that voice in the game that's going to tell you what to do. And I think that the burden is going to have to fall on someone else, or it's going to have to be a team effort. Now, this is a year where you're going to figure out if you got it or you don't when it comes to comms, because it's not something that everyone can do, especially do and play well at the same time. If you guys remember in Vanguard, when I was teaching myself how to do it, I was pretty dog shit for the first like 6 months of the game because I was trying to figure out how to manage everyone else and also not be triple negative at the same time. So it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, but they're going to have to figure it out, because I think that the skill on this team is obviously guaranteed Sundays and pretty much guaranteed grand finals, as long as they don't lose to themselves. I think that's kind of the expectation that everyone has going into the season. So they're gonna have to figure out the comms thing. That's been an issue that the Terrors have had over the last couple of seasons, but they're gonna have to make it work. That's literally all it is. I don't have any insane input or anything like that. Someone's gonna have to step up to the plate and take on that responsibility, whether it's one person or whether it's all four of them. Now, I'm thinking about giving grades to all the teams. I think the grade thing might cause a little bit of controversy, but if I had to, I'd give them an A. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think they solved that number one problem, which was getting MC onto a main AR role and picking up a true flex in DRAZAH. So shout out to FaZe. I think they're going to have a phenomenal season. I cannot believe that Zach ended up there. The irony is unbelievable. And then the last point that I wanted to make right before we end the video is going to be the objective. Like, what does this change mean for them? How should they be playing? Where should the burden go in terms of who's getting the fucking hill? What should they do? What direction should they take? So during the Modern Warfare 2 season, we saw a pretty dramatic playstyle shift with Simp. He was playing bombs. He was capping control points. He was sitting in the hill meowing. He kind of was starting to do everything. And I don't know if that's a direction that they want to continue to go, because now that you're adding in Zach, who is just, again, a go, get kills, go forward, don't sit in the hill kind of player, or are you going to push that onto MC now because he's on a traditional main AR role? This is just something that they're going to have to figure out. I think Simp did a phenomenal job of just bearing that burden last year. He stepped up to the plate when fucking no one else was going to get in the hill. He said, fuck it, I'll do it. So that's another thing they're going to have to figure out. But if they do, I fully expect this team to be scary as hell on Sundays. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. And we're going to go through all of the rosters, like I said, and hopefully I can time these properly because no one is doing anything. So we're probably going to see like the top 4 teams videos first, and then, you know, once things start happening, I'll go down the line. So thank you guys for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day.